Hi, Rick Rosen here from the BRRRR Thrive Team. Welcome you to a tantalizing tale about investment home financing. This is an actual case history of a relationship I had with a beginning real estate investor. He was very confused about the whole process of financing a rental home that needed a major renovation. I had to have the patience of a kindergarten teacher to explain him all of the technical difficulties. So I said, look, let's just take it simple, step by step. The first step is write down your purchase price. Second step is you need to find a source for accurate values of what the surrounding houses, what they actually sold for in that local real estate market. Not just any house, but homes that have been renovated will generally bring a higher price. So I wanted to see what those comparables look like for him. Your sources like Trulia, Realtor.com, those sources are not accurate. You have to actually use the realtor's multi-list in order to get real comparable sales. What we found out was, and this is his example, was a 1,000 square foot home in his market area was going to sell for about $150,000 fully improved. So this is where things got interesting. According to the BRRRR method, we have to take 70% of the $150,000 that come up with the total amount of money that we can spend on this project, and that worked out to $105,000. Let's subtract the $60,000. We know that for sure. That's what it was going to take to get this home. So where does that leave you? It leaves you at $45,000 to work with, and they had to go for the renovation and your closing costs to purchase the house. Closing fees would include your lender points, your broker fees, your title fees, all kinds of crazy fees. There's some bureaucratic stuff like recording fees and different fees. But a general rule of thumb, if you take 6% of your mortgage amount, that'll give you a good ballpark figure of what it's going to cost to close that loan. And we're heading into the realm of about $90,000 for the total mortgage. So that told us that it would be about $5,400. I rounded it up to $6,000 just to play it safe. So what did I tell you? We had $45,000 to play with, less $6,000 for your closing costs. And now we have $39,000 to do the renovation. So what's next? I said, okay, now you got to hire a general contractor and have them come out and build you an estimate of the property, what it's going to cost to renovate. So as he's walking through the house with the general contractor, he has his clipboard and he's writing down all these details about as he inspected the home. And he goes, oh yeah, your roof is fine. That's after they came in from the outside. And the windows look like to be in pretty good shape, but a few need to be re-glazed, which means they got to take the glass panels out, put new ones in. And it's also a great way of saving money when you're trying to save money on your renovation. Biggest expenses, and that of course is the kitchen. So as he's going through the kitchen, the GC says, I think you need about 10 cabinets. That's around $2,000 from the big box store. Add another 10% for a laminated countertop and sink. So now we have a steady $39,000 budget after the GC went through it. So we're still holding firm at the 39. Lender might view you as trustworthy as if you had several flips or rentals under your belt. That's how you get the highest rating and you get the best deal in terms of the lowest closing cost, the lowest amount of money you need to put down on the purchase. So in this particular case, the lender approved him for 85% of the purchase price, which would be $51,000. That was on the pre-approval, and they were willing to fund 100% of the improvement, which is $39,000. So when you add the $51,000 to the $39,000, that gives you $90,000 mortgage. So the client would need to put $10,000 as a down payment down, and then they'll need in closing costs. So about $16,000 out of pocket. So after the deal closed, my client encountered the joys of the reimbursement process of the renovation. So the lender doesn't simply hand you over $39,000 to spend. Instead, they'll give you draws as you're going along as a reimbursement for the monies that you put out for the renovation. So you do need to have an additional to that $16,000. I was telling him you need maybe like another $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 they have for like materials at any given time. And generally your labor will wait till Friday to get their check. So that's usually not a problem. The general contractor is very experienced in working with the draw process. He says, look, very easily I can afford the $16,000 to put down, but the other $6,000, $7,000 or $8,000 I might be a little bit tight on. So I said, go out and get a commercial card from like Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, more than likely they'll give it to you because you have good credit. And that type of credit is called business credit. It's not your personal credit. So when you want to keep this beautiful house after you finish renovating and leasing it out, if you had used your own credit cards, you would have found that your FICO score got knocked down big time because you maxed out your credit cards. So instead of maxing out your personal credit card, you max out your business line. It has no effect on your personal credit. So that's the first important thing that you need to consider. The second thing that you have to consider is refinancing. But so far so good. Everything worked out for him, and his renovation is moving along very quickly, and we expect that it'll be done shortly and we'll be able to start the refinance for him. Thank you everybody for joining us once again at the BRRRR Thrive Team, and you're more than welcome to click and get more information at our website at B with 4 R's and the word thrive.com. So it's BRRRR Thrive.com. And we have a lot of professionals there that will be able to help you with your next project.